Hi, it's Brittany from the Empurrium. Welcome back to my channel. Today is another day of the 13 days of Halloween video series I'm doing, and it is also a video in the part of the Marathon Society video marathon that is running the day that this releases. We are making the Greedy Clutch from Hollow Bag Creations. I did make mine as a crossbody bag. I just changed a couple of the options, but I did the pumpkin flap add-on. It's so cute. I really like it. So like I said, I did the pumpkin flap add-on. I did not do a wristlet or the strap from the pattern with like really cool chains, but I did a crossbody with the candy corn webbing I sell, and then I threw this cute label from Sewing Blurbs on there. I used some orange vinyl I got from my punk broderie. It might be like a promo vinyl. I bought it years ago. I used black rubber boots from More Me Know. The black glitter vinyl inside the jack-o'-lantern face is Little Black Outfit Ace glitter vinyl from More Me Know. All my hardware is from More Me Know. And then I used my candy corn sewing string from Wizardry Stitchery. And then I just used some orange waterproof canvas from Fabric Wholesale Direct. I do wish I had put my magnets up a little on my exterior just to give a little bit more space. But other than that, oh, also I did not do the card slots in the lining. I did a live cutting this if you want to check it out. Like I said, this is part of the marathon for this pattern. We're all doing different flaps, so make sure you check out the rest of the marathon. I hope you check out the rest of my 13 days of Halloween, and I hope you enjoy. Let's sew. Before we sew, I just want to go over the pieces and parts I have real quick. I am doing the jack-o'-lantern flap, so I have the exterior, the backing piece to go behind my cutouts, and then I have foam on the back of that. I'll be stitching these lines that I used the pattern placement template for, and I'll be stitching around there. I also have the back, and I have the markings for my magnetic snaps in place there. For my main body, I have the two exterior pieces with foam attached. And then I have two regular lining pieces. I am not going to be doing the card slots on the inside. I have two D-ring anchor connectors. And then I'm not going to do a wristlet or the chain strap. I'm just going to do a regular crossbody strap. The pattern instructs you how to do a really cute chain strap, but I'm just going to use this candy corn webbing. So I have my crossbody hardware in the size that fits my webbing. I have my two D-rings. I have my two magnets. Then I have a name tag from Heartwood and Hyde, and I picked out this woven label I got from Sewing Blurbs. It says no tricks, just treats, and it has a pumpkin on the back. I thought that would suit this well. All right, so the first thing I need to do is I need to stitch all of my placements on my accents, or whatever you want to call them. I'm not sure. I'm going to use 4 for my stitch length, and on these lines that go to the edges, I'm going to back stitch at the start and stop just enough. I don't want to go out of the seam allowance with those back stitch marks. But when I get to the other parts, I'm going to be tying off my threads. So right here, I used a silver marking pen to make these marks also. It will wipe off And I'm not staying completely on it because it looks like my marks were off just a little bit, but it's a real good general guide for where they should be. Okay, now this is going to get a little bit difficult where I get into where all of these move around. Like I said, I'm going to be tying off my threads. So I have long tails here. I'm just going to take my time stitching this, checking where my needle is going to drop on corners. And I put some tape in a couple spots when I attached the black to the orange, so it would shift less on me. I'm trying also not to remove my pen marks from the other lines I still need to do. If you have a synchronizer on your machine for like this kind of applique, you might want to turn it off or just hand crank when you're getting close to edges. I don't have a synchronizer, so I'm able to control a little bit better and let off my pedal when I'm close, and then just hand crank the rest. I do believe that stitching this flap is going to be what takes me the longest on this bag, but it's so cute. It is so worth it. Also because I've chosen not to do some of the extras that will speed up the general construction as well. Wait, I'm gonna pull this thread to the back before I get there. And I'm just trying to keep the inside of my walking foot on the edge of the cutout. And the goal here is to end my stitching in the same hole I started, so it looks like one continuous stitch. From here, I'm going to pull my threads to the back if I can. All right, there we go. And then I'm gonna knot these. And I'm trimming the threads, but not super close to the knot. Just a little. All right, so there is the mouth. I'm gonna go ahead and go a little bit faster, sped up through the rest of this. now that I have all my stitching, I want to take like a baby wipe and get those no, not machine. I want to get those pen marks off. Interesting, some of the orange is rubbing. Wouldn't expect that. The reason I said machine is because sometimes some people use machine oil with the baby wipe to remove the silver marking pen. But it doesn't look like I need to. Okay. So I've got that off. I don't know if you caught or not, so I'm going to explain. I backstitched here, 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 but here, 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 like these, I tied off. So lots of knots back there. So totally worth it. I was going to put my name tag on real quick, but I decided not to. Okay, for the flap, I have marked on the back here my magnets, and I'm going to put the male ends of the magnets on there. And I'm going to take a little scrap. I save like scraps of vinyl when I box corners for totes, and I save them for like zipper tabs and things like this. Sorry, someone in my neighborhood thinks it's drag race. The speed limit is 25. All right, I'm gonna grab my seam ripper and a pen. I made the markings from the pattern piece, so I have dots, but I'm going to mark these lines here, and then I'll go ahead and carefully cut those. Okay, so from the right side of the fabric to the back. Okay, so then I put this little scrap here, just like to serve as interfacing. Use Peltex, Deckable Light, Deckable Heavy, like whatever you have scraps of, they're great for right there. Okay, then we're going to take the exterior and lining pieces and match those up. We're going to clip them together. I'm going to stick with the stitch length of 4 that I was already on. It's going to help me with those curves. And we're going to stitch around, but not the top. I'm going to hand crank a bit because I just really want to try to get the best curves I possibly can And when you are stitching curves, I meant to say this when I was doing the details for the front. When you're lifting your foot to turn, you want to make sure first that your needle's down, but if you make sure it's on its way back up, that means your stitch finished and it's not going to give you a funky skipped stitch. Okay, so you'll want to check your curve, your seam, make sure everything looks good. And I must say, it looks pretty good. I'm going to use some pinking shears and cut around these curves. So 1 second here. I'll show it to you as soon as I get that done. And I just realized I had back stitched on my stitches, and now I've cut those back stitches away. So it's great. It'll be fine. It's just a decorative stitch. And I'm also going to take and snip in towards these little inside corners of the curves. That's going to help it sit nicer too. I'm going to turn everything right side out. This is really cute. And I'm just pushing the little curves out as best I can. Okay, I'm going to want to use something that is blunt and not sharp to round these out some more. You really have to make it do what you want, basically. Okay. This is like too sharp of a point here. It should not be a point. It did not look like a point when I sewed it. So I want to bring that in. And it might just end up being a little bit pointed. My stitches were really smooth, so that's probably the best it's gonna get. I think it looks really cute though still. Okay, we're gonna top stitch all the way around. We can close the flap. We already put the magnets on. If you did not put your magnets on, you're going to want to do that. All right. So you are going through more layers here. So be mindful, depending on your machine and what materials you used. All right. This is really cute. I love it so much. So that's what the back looks like. Oh my gosh, adorable. All right. So, gonna go ahead and work on these D-ring straps because this was one of the things that was at the top of the pattern, but I went straight to the flap. Let me see something here. I drew a line in the center, and then I put double-sided tape. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna fold in to that center on each of the sides. Okay, and we're gonna press down on that. Did I do this wrong? I might have. I think I need 3/4 inch D-rings. I do. That's funny. Okay, that's fine. I can grab them. It's like, that looks skinnier now. It's fine. All is well. Okay, so we're folding in. Okay, now that we've folded those in, we're going to make a center mark. It's going to be hard to see, I know, because I'm doing black on black, but it is there, I promise. And then we need a little bit of tape. Gonna drop that in the center. And then we are folding the ends into that center mark. And then we're gonna top stitch around the edges. All right. So this is where also I thought this candy corn thread would look cute. Oh. I'm gonna trim my threads before I get back to my stop point. It's just gonna help keep them out of the way so that there's no like bunching of threads. Yeah, this thread on black is just so cool. All right, and then repeat that on the other one. Okay, trim. Okay, and then we can set those aside for a little bit. I'm gonna scroll back down in the pattern here. We're not doing the card slots. I already have the foam on here. Okay, I need to do my magnets and my nameplate. So my magnets I've marked here. I have the center. And I'm going to mark again. I know it's very difficult to see the black on black. I can see it because it's kind of shiny. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut those marks. With the foam behind it, it is a little rough to cut. Like, it goes through, but I know when I go to push the magnets in, it's going to give me a hard time because it didn't cut through the full thickness, and I don't want to push in more because that's going to cut my vinyl too much. So see, hi, you're usually able to push that through pretty well. I'm not adding a stabilizer piece to this because with that foam and the vinyl, there's plenty there. All right, so we've got snaps on that side. I'm going to go ahead and get my nameplate here. Let's see. Some tape. Okay, so I kind of just set this above the darts and it looks straight. Going to set that there and then, yep, looks good. All right, I'm going to stitch this on real quick. And I knot off my threads when I do my name tag. I need that one to go slightly farther. Okay, so I like to pull the starting thread back through. And then you want to end that same hole. All right, I'm going to knot those off and trim the threads a little bit, just like I did on the flap. Cute. Didn't even catch any white. It's just yellow and orange. I like it. All right, we've got that ready. The back is going to have the flap. So we'll go ahead and find our center here. You do not want to line your flap up with the magnet side. Like, this might feel right. It is not. You've been warned. All right. And you want right sides together. So you have the outside of the flap facing down. on the right side of the exterior. Okay, and then I just want to look here. Yep, looks like it's gonna match up good. All right, we're gonna base this in place. And then we're gonna take our exterior pieces. We're gonna line up the darts. And we're doing this for all 4 darts on both pieces. Clipping, and then we are stitching. Oh, and on the lining pieces. So 4 pieces, 8 darts. All right, and you want to be mindful of seam allowance because it is different for the lining. Okay. And I like to just chain this all together when I sew. Okay, so again, remember your exterior is a different seam allowance. I'm gonna go ahead and start trimming these apart. Okay. Mildly out of order, but I am going to make my crossbody strap and exchange my hardware. I'll be right back. It's okay. Did it get... Oh, it's good. That's cute. I like it. All right. Set that to the side until we're done. Okay. It says to put main panels together, exteriors together, lining together. And then we're going to tuck the darts into each other. Okay. So we're going to start the lining seam allowance the same as the exterior, but we're going to taper in and we're going to leave a opening in the bottom of the lining. All right. So here we go. We're going to match up sides. Match your darts. Okay, and then this is where you can take and like fold them opposite. It's going to reduce a little bit of bulk. Okay, and you're going to want to just line this up as best you can. Should match up. That flap in there kind of makes it a little bit hard. All right, got the exterior lined up. Go to the lining. Okay, so again, we're going to match the sides. Match up where your darts are and fold them opposite. Okay, and then we need to leave a turning hole in the bottom. So I'm going to do my little double clip thing I like to do. That's how I know where I am going to start and stop. Okay. Okay, so you're going to start at your normal seam allowance, and then once you're about an inch away, you're going to taper around the corner right here. And then make sure you leave an opening to turn the bag. And then once you get close, you're going to taper back up to the regular seam allowance. I'm going to trim my threads, and then I'm going to leave this up here to be able to fold it, but I'm just going to trim a little bit of this out of the way. And then we're going to stitch the exterior. This we're going to stick with the same seam allowance the whole way through. You can kind of use your foam as a guide too. I know mine isn't perfectly centered, but for the corner, it was nice kind of to look at that to know where I needed to go. And again, you're just keeping your seam allowance the same the whole way on the exterior. And then I'm going to just trim these edges here. I think that hit the phone. I'm sorry. All right. Not going to trim anything else down there. All right, we're going to turn the exterior right side out. A little stiff. Okay. Gonna okay. Just trying to poke those corners. Oh my gosh. Here's a preview. Come on. This is so cute. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. We need to make marks for our anchors. So we are going to measure with my ruler. Where's my ruler? I don't know, but I have 3 over here. Okay, found a ruler. Oh, it was right here. Wow. Okay, we're gonna measure down and across. Okay. So we're centering it, but it goes across. Okay. Think I got it. All right, and then we are punching holes on our anchor pieces. Again, I know I'm using black on black. And it's because I stole the silver marking pen that was over here and took it to the cutting table, and I didn't bring it back. And the funny thing is, I know I have like 6 silver marking pens around here, but where are they? Guess I need more. All right, we marked these. I'm gonna grab rivets. Let's see. Well, that was really close to exactly what I needed. All right, got all that. We're gonna lay this on the line. We want the top edge on the line. Okay. Here goes nothing. So if I line up the middle of that, and then I've got this on the line, like that. Ah, yay, it worked. Okay. So this one is going to be a little difficult to get to the one. I could use my cam press. I'm putting in my lap to try to bend this some to get to it. Okay. There we go. I think that was where it was supposed to go. I sure hope. I think it's fine. Okay, so move my pen mark. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that in there. And then I'm gonna put my D-ring on. And pop that through there and there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set the rivets, and I'm gonna do the other side and then I'll be back. We're almost done. All right, I got these on and riveted. They're real cute. Love it. Okay, we need to take the exterior right side out and tuck it into the lining. Sometimes I feel like easier said than done. I generally like doing it the other way, but I made another bag recently and I did this and it was a lot easier to turn, so I get it. I take back some of the things I said. Okay. It's tight fit because your lining is smaller than your exterior with the exception of this top circumference. And you've got the flap on the exterior too. So make sure you line up your seams. And I've split them open on both sides. Okay. Gonna wanna force it to fit a little bit. Woo. Okay. Same thing here. What is going on? We got this though. Like, I know it fits. I got them all from the same places. That's fine. It's just funky. Okay. What you can do also is you can kind of like pull and kind of like work it so that it fits everywhere. Like it's going to fit when I stitch it. It just looks a little weird like that. Okay. When I stitch around this, I'm going to backstitch at the start and stop, but I'm also going to backstitch a tiny bit at the start and stop of the flap. It's basted on right now, but I also want to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, see the seam allowance. Here we go. If you need, you could use like a stiletto or like an awl to help hold this. I took some of my tools to a show, and I don't know where I have them right now. You could also use like a screwdriver, which mine is also not at this table. Doing great. Okay, there was the flap. And then I want to make sure that the seam stays open. You just need to like manipulate the bag as you go. And then when I get back to that seam, I want to make sure it's all laying flat again. And give a little back stitch over the other side of the flap. And back stitch when I get back to my starting point. Okay. Going to turn this right side out. She says you can trim the seam allowance. I don't do that. She says she doesn't. I don't either when it is a top seam because you're going to be able to top stitch in that. Okay. Need to turn the bag, birth it, and get it all right side out, and then I'll meet you back for the final stitches. So I have turned the bag right side out through this hole, and now we need to close it. I also poked out all of the corners before I got to this spot. So we're just gonna fold in, and I'm going to be putting a woven label in here, but we're going to backstitch where it starts, and then I like to pop the label in further than it needs to go and just gently tug until it's where I want it. And make sure you backstitch at the other end. If any of your threads are sticking out too far, you can go ahead and snip those. I just wanted to make sure I had enough bobbin to top stitch the bag, and I have plenty. I was worried because of all of the stitching on that front flap. I'm also going to up my stitch length. I'm going to a 4.5. All right, we're going to tuck this into the bag. And you're going to want to make sure you pop the corners. Okay. Now I'm going to take and finger press my lining and my exterior. And I'm going to be real honest, this is a bag that I definitely would like to top stitch from the exterior, but it's going to be too hard, I think, to manipulate it without flipping it. So I'm going to press this, but I'm going to flip this inside out, and then I'll have to flip it back when I'm done. But I just really do not want to top stitch this from the inside because of how it will end up looking with the flap. So it's going to be a little awkward getting it to sit like this, but it's okay. It's going to be worth it. And I probably, if I wasn't trying to like do the tutorial in a timely manner, I probably would switch to my cylinder arm, and I could have just stitched it without flipping it. So if you have the ability to do that, absolutely go for it. I'm going to start and stop right here. It's going to be like hidden by the flap when it's closed. But take your time, make sure that you're keeping a nice straight top stitch. Okay, it's a little awkward, but you can do it. Make sure that when you get to the D-ring connector, you do not stitch on your hardware. Just make sure it stays out of the way. And now you've got your thickness changing on your seam. So if you need to use a hump jumper or anything like that, make sure you do. And I'm just going to press the exterior main panel down as I'm going to create a nice smooth seam while I'm top stitching. If the top stitch on the lining isn't like perfect, I don't care so much about that, but I really want that back to look really nice, especially because I'm using a variegated contrasting thread on black. And I would hate to have stitched this from the inside on the lining and then find out that it like went off of that or anything like that. So this, stitching it this way is how I have full control over that. Alright. So, looks pretty good there. I can't complain. But it looks really good on the outside, and that's what was important. Okay, so flip everything back out the right way. And just give that real good press. Okay. Oh my gosh. If your D-rings got twisted, you can kind of pop that like that. I think possibly I would do like extra rivets there. It would be like a cool look too. I don't know. It's up to you. I maybe should have moved my magnets up a tiny bit to give a little bit more wiggle room, but I think it's fine. All right, I'm going to put my strap on and we're done. Forgot I put that there. I love it. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you haven't checked out the other videos in our video marathon for this, you can check that out. I'll try to link the playlist. I hope you have a great day.